So the one for summer is actually going to be the FAFSA for 22-23. If you have not completed this FAFSA, let's say that you didn't receive financial aid this academic year because you didn't apply, it is not too late to apply. If you have already been receiving financial aid this academic year because you were enrolled in the fall and spring, and you don't need to do anything else. So for those of you that are thinking like, hey, can I still apply? I didn't receive financial aid during the academic year. Is it too late? It's not. Go ahead and apply. Don't confuse it with the 23-24 FAFSA, which the priority deadline was yesterday. This is actually going to be for the next academic year. So this is going to be for your fall 23, spring 24, and summer 24 financial aid. Do both. Make sure that both are done, because this will give you financial aid for the upcoming semester, and then this is going to give you financial aid for the summer as well. Okay, so just want to put that out there. All right. And then I do want to mention that we did extend our scholarship deadline. I encourage everybody to apply, because this is funding that is gift aid. It is not something that you have to pay back. It is extended to March 10th. However, we are looking to extend it a little bit further. More information on that as it happens, but it is extended to March 10th. I encourage everybody to apply. There are some scholarships that don't require anything other than the scholarship application be completed. Make sure that you completed all the way through, because if you submit an incomplete application, it will not be considered. Also know that some of these scholarships do require essays or letters of recommendation or other items. So you want to get started now so that you can give enough time to that person that you're asking to give you a recommendation to actually provide one for you. So just make sure that, you keep that in mind, and that you do respect their time, because they do get bombarded around this time. There is also off-campus scholarships that are available to you. They are listed on our website as well under off-campus scholarships. And this is going to list all of the scholarships that, like we'll get emails from people in the community letting us know that these scholarships are available, and they all have different dates and deadlines. So you may want to take a look at that and see what are the requirements for those. Oops, with that, oops, here we go. Summer financial aid. Sorry, my mouse is going crazy. Here we go. So summer financial aid. Financial aid is going to be a little bit different this year for this summer, because the courses are moving from extended education over to the state side. What that means is that it opens up another type of financial aid available to you. It's no longer just federal aid. What that means is that if you are eligible, you may receive the federal Pell Grant, the state university grant, which is new. So if eligible, you may actually have your entire courses paid for the summer if you're eligible. So that means state university grant will cover all of your courses. And on top of that, if you're eligible, you may still receive the federal Pell Grant and loans. Some students, we actually have a list of these students, may receive a waiver for eligible courses. We have the list, so if you are eligible, we will automatically place that waiver on your account, and then we'll send you an email letting you know that the waiver has been placed. So that's the main difference this year with financial aid, that we have the ability to give you that state university grant, which makes a huge difference. Whereas before it was just the summer grant, which only covered like $500. So this is if you want to take summer, if you want to accelerate that, like the time that it's going to take you to graduate, if you have these courses that you needed to take, but you were kind of putting them off for the fall because you really couldn't afford summer, do it. There is no, there's no reason not to at this point. Unless it's time, but there's a question. What are the qualifications for the waiver? Some of these waivers are geared towards students who are freshmen and have not yet completed 30 units. You need the 30 units to, for your freshman to move on to be a sophomore, or students who are going on to a junior standing but don't have those 60 units. So we did get a list. We will identify those students, and then we will see which of the grants or waivers are going to be more beneficial to you, because we want to make sure that you get, whatever's the most beneficial. So we do have that list, and, as we're awarding, it is a manual award. So, it is going to take a while, but just know that we will let you know. How do I get on that list? That list has been provided to us by academics, so it's they let us know who may qualify for that. You will be in 36 units. Yeah, I mean, you know what? If you have courses that you need to take in the summer and you are eligible for financial aid, it doesn't hurt to sign up for them, and then we will let you know what you're eligible for. So yeah, no, definitely, I would, Yes, Nisa, we will reach out to you, letting you know that you qualify for the waiver. So it's gonna be in the email that you get sent for your financial aid. You will see that the waiver has been applied. Now, how do I apply for summer financial aid? You don't have to do anything other than have the 22-23 FAFSA or CADA application on file. So no additional applications are required. You must have attended either fall or spring 2023 in order for you to be eligible. So if you weren't here for the fall semester or you weren't here for the spring semester, at least one of them, you will not be eligible. If you took fall off, but you came back in spring, then yes, we will consider you for summer aid. Some aid may require half-time enrollment to be eligible. This is specific to the federal Pell Grant, because federal Pell Grant, if you didn't use all of it during the academic year because you only took, let's say, maybe 9 units or 6 units, so you didn't use up all of the aid during the academic year, then it'll move forward to the summer. That's fine. However, if you used up 100% of it during the fall and spring, then in order for you to get that 150% Pell, you do have to be enrolled in half. So, for some of you, it may be that you are required to have at least half-time in order to be eligible for that particular grant. You don't have to be enrolled in half-time to be eligible for the state university grant. That's the difference. During the summer only, if you are in 3 units, then we will fund you 3 units worth of the state university grant. This is my first semester and I only had 9 units. Okay, that's perfect. So then that means that you have 3 units that we can move over to the summer and fund you that federal Pell Grant that we can use from this academic year. That's if you're eligible. So we will look at, once we're awarding, we will look at how many units you're enrolled in. We will look at your usage when it comes to the federal Pell Grant and your state university grant and all of that, because we do have to make sure that you are meeting all of the requirements. Know that summer awards are closely tied to the number of units you are enrolled in. What that means is that if you enroll in, let's say, 5 units for summer, and then we award you at 5 units, but then you drop down to maybe 3 units. Well, now we have to readjust your financial aid to those 3 units because now you don't qualify for 5 units worth of aid. So that will hold it up a little bit. So just know that summer is very closely tied to the number of units you are enrolled in. If you add or drop units, it will affect the financial aid that you are eligible for. Okay, that is a great point that you just made. I need to do summer classes in order to graduate, but I'm skeptical because I had to pay for my winter class and I'm worried about the financial aspect. Winter courses are not fundable through financial aid. Summer is. So that's the main difference between the two. So as long as you are eligible for financial aid for the summer, we will award you. We will run the eligibility. We will look at the classes that you're enrolled in. As long as you are enrolled, you will be taken into consideration for summer. And we will let you know in an email if you are eligible for it. We will, you have been awarded. If you are not eligible for it, you will be sent an email letting you know we looked at your eligibility. It turns out that you don't have any financial aid available to you for the summer. So we will let you know ahead of time. Just make sure that you are enrolled. If you are not enrolled, we cannot consider you for financial aid for summer. Belinda, Landy, what if I took 7 units in the fall and 15 in the spring? Will I be able to qualify for summer? Yes. So if you were eligible for the federal Pell Grant and still have eligibility left, we will look into the difference between that 7 units and the the 12. So that will get taken into consideration. When can we start enrolling for summer? I believe March 6th, Liz said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe it's March 6th. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Yes, it's March 6th.
March 6th, and I believe today you can start adding your classes to your cart in the afternoon, evening.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yes, so just as long as you're enrolled, we will consider you. If you're not enrolled, we will not consider you for summer aid because, like I said, it is based specifically on the number of units. Yes, thank you, Nisa, for that question. If I have to take some classes, but they're not offered here at Stan, so I have to take them at the community college, is that a different process for financial aid? Yes, it is. Talk to that financial aid office because 2 things are going to be affected here. One, some of the community colleges use the summer term as a header. What that means is that it will touch on the financial aid that you would be eligible for in the fall, spring of the following academic year. Whereas we use it as a tail end. So we look at whatever's left over from the academic year. So that may be a little bit of an overlap. We will, go ahead and take that into consideration as well. But just know that, it may be an overlap. One of the things that I do want to let you know is that the community colleges do have what's called a promise grant, which is kind of a waiver type financial aid that doesn't affect your federal or state aid. So if you just want to do that and then just have your fees waived if you qualify at the community college without it touching your federal aid, then you're more than welcome to do that as well. But just talk to that financial aid office. Great questions, guys. This is awesome. Okay. Now, how will I be notified of my award? You will automatically be awarded, like I said, based on your summer enrollment. We will begin awarding early to mid-April. Know that this is a very manual process. That means that we have to award everybody that is enrolled in summer manually, which means that it does take longer. Advisors will be super busy doing this. So, as we get the list, we award and then, it just goes through like that. Changes to your enrollment do affect how fast you are awarded in terms of like, hey, I dropped down to these units. Can you adjust? It may take a little bit longer, so you do need to let us know. Please let us know. Keep us informed if you are adding or dropping classes during the summer because we will need to go in there and adjust your aid based on your new unit amount. Okay. You will be informed with an email or you can also check your My Stan State portal. It will show you the awards that you have available for the summer. So do check that, but you will be sent an email letting you know like, hey, you have an award letter or you have an update to your award letter, go ahead and check it out. And then we will let you know. If you are not eligible for financial aid for the summer, we will also let you know via an email letting you know, hey, we took a look at your enrollment, we took a look at your eligibility. It turns out that you don't have any eligibility for summer. So you will know either way, as long as you're enrolled. Oh, that's a great question. I am not sure if there is another way to look for classes. Liz said, or Jesus, I don't know if you know if there's another way to look up for classes.
Yeah, you can look for classes through your class schedule. I'll put the link right now.
Okay, and then they had another question. If they're going to be offering WP classes in
Let me check.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Can I take classes Can I take a class during summer here at Stan while simultaneously taking a class at the community college? From what I understand, you can. However, I'm not an academic advisor. But yes, we will pay you for the ones that you're taking here. And then I don't know how the transfer process happens after that.
Yeah, so like you could definitely take classes in each school. Just make sure to send a transcript once the class grade is posted over to enrollment services here with us.
And with taking classes at community colleges, you want to use the assist.org website to find which courses are transferable from the community college. You could always talk to an academic advisor and we'll help you out with that process.
Perfect, thank you so much. All right. Let me take a look. When will awards disperse? The first disbursement is scheduled for May 30th. However, if you are one of the students who were placed on a warning for the spring semester or had an appeal approved and you were placed on plan, or you are reaching max units, there will be a hold placed on your award. That means that we will have to run the satisfactory academic progress first before we can release your financial aid. Satisfactory academic progress in the summer is run sometime around mid-June. So once that is run, then your financial aid will disperse if you're eligible for it. If you are not eligible, that means that you will need to do an appeal. So your financial aid will not disperse until your appeal has been approved. So if you feel that you may be in that situation and have more questions, please contact our office. We do have advising Monday through Thursday. Just contact us. Either you can drop in to the office, or you can use the chat feature. I'll show you how to do that. You can send us an email. I know we had an issue with our phones yesterday and the day before, but they're back on now. You can give us a call, or you can send us a message. I mean, just let us know what your question is, and then we will go ahead and take a look and let you know if you're going to be one of those students that is going to be held for the summer. So this is just a heads up, if you are and have a SAP issue or something, it may be helpful. And this is our information. I am going to show you how to get a hold of us in a little bit, but I'm going to leave it here for a bit. This is our phone number, our office hours, our virtual walk-ins, our email. You can follow us on our social media. We also have a YouTube channel where we post videos on how to submit documents, how to submit SAP, and all of that. So I just want to leave that there so that you can have this information. And please let me know if you have any questions. I wanted to keep this presentation a little bit shorter because I wanted you to have the floor and let me know, like, what are your questions? What are your concerns when it comes to summer? Summer's a little weird, so I want to make sure that you get your questions answered. So any questions, concerns, comments? How many units do we need to take for summer aid to cover it? At least 3. Great question. Yeah, no problem. There is no max units. You can take as many as you can handle. They are going to cap the tuition to just the 2871, just basically what you would pay during a regular semester for the state university fee. So you can take as many units as you are allowed to and as you can handle. How many credits is considered full-time? 12 units, just like a regular academic semester. Any other questions or concerns? Okay, so this will be my first summer taking courses at Stan. Do you have any advice about taking 2 or more during the same session? You know what, I'm going to defer this to the experts in the room. I don't know.
It would just depend on what level classes, like if they're GEs, lower division GEs, if they're major classes, if they're WP courses, Aracelia. So it would just depend on how you feel about that. And I know that there's different sessions as well. So it depends when the classes start sometimes. we can take a look at the classes that you're interested in, and we can kind of see the difficulty level possibly. But I would just say maybe set up a one-on-one appointment, Araceli, and we can kind of take a look at that.
I would say too, classes for summer session are compressed. It's half the amount of time. So each week you're doing twice as much work as you would do during the regular semester. So if you're taking 2 classes in the summer, it's probably going to be around equivalent to taking 4 classes in the fall semester in terms of the amount of hours you're expected to be in class and the amount of homework and assignments you're expected to do outside of class. So that's the math that I usually use, but like Lisette says, it's going to depend on what classes, because if it's 2, science classes, that's a different story than taking 2, non-science classes or all of that.
It's definitely feasible. It just depends on also you're prioritizing the classes.
And how much partying you're doing.
No party. I'm just kidding. It's okay to party, but so she said it's for my upper division English class. Okay, upper division English. For your major classes, I always say English can be a little bit heavy with the writing and the reading. So let's talk about it. Let's set up an appointment and we can talk about it.
And now there's a question, will I be able to get financial aid if I take 3 units in the first term and 3 units in the second term? Yes, you will be awarded at 6 units or half time. Jacqueline, we're actually going to look at that. We're going to go ahead and look to see how many units you're enrolled for summer. And because the state university grant and the federal Pell Grant have different requirements for summer, then we look to see what your eligibility is for that term. So it's there's like extra funding. It's like another 50% in the summer that we can look at. Yeah, like I said, just enroll in the classes. If you need to take them, if you want to, finish a little bit faster, we will let you know if we're going to fund them or not, or how many of them we can fund. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. And like I said, this year, you could have your classes fully funded. So definitely take advantage.
Okay, I have another question, but it's too much to type.
Okay.
Okay, so I was a transfer student, and so I have questions about that. Would you be able to help me with that as well on a one-on-one appointment?
For Lisette or?
For Lisette.
Okay, yeah, for sure. We can do a one-on-one appointment.
Okay, yeah, because I just had a few questions I have things that I transferred in with, and then so some of my lower division courses, it's not matching up. So I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
Oh yeah, for sure. Then we can take a look at that.
Okay, yeah, I'll make an appointment right now.
Perfect.
There's a question about middle class scholarship. Thank you for bringing that up, actually. Okay. So in previous years, middle class scholarship was automatically awarded to you based on the amount of units that you were taking and, the eligibility requirements. It was super easy. We just gave it to you, we were done. This year, the requirements for it, the calculation for it, everything was changed. So all of the CSUs, the UCs and the community college are having to mostly do this manually. And also the eligibility, the number of students that are eligible quadrupled. So doing it manually and with more students, it is taking a little bit longer. We are working on that. So just know that if you are eligible, we do have the list. We are working through that as fast as we can. So you will get an email letting you know if you're eligible and if you're receiving this aid, and it will back pay to the fall if you're eligible for it as well. So yeah, that's what's going on with middle class. It's taking us a little bit longer because it changed on us quite a bit. So we've been having to do everything manually. Super fun stuff. Any other questions? Anything else that I missed? Well, you guys are awesome. Thank you for all of the questions. And if you have any questions, please reach out to the office. You know, that we do have advising, we have social media, we have walk-ins, we have email, we have the phone. So just contact us and then we will make our best to let you know. Is there a deadline to withdraw for a summer class without penalty? Yes. If you go to the, we will have a website specifically for summer. And it will give you the drop deadlines. You know, it's basically before the first day of the class is usually without penalty that you can drop. The scholarship enrollment asks for awards you may have completed. What award fits this criteria? I'm sorry, what do you mean? Awards you may have completed? Can you elaborate on that? I'm not too sure what that means. You can also unmute yourself, Jacqueline, if it's easier.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to enroll for the Center Slate scholarships, and it stated in the writing in that if I completed any awards to state what I won exactly, what fits that criteria? Like anything from high school, like community service awards or anything like that?
Are you talking about like any like merit awards that you have received?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's talking about, yeah, like if you received any like any medals or any scholarships based on merit from your, yeah, it could be from your high school, from your community college if you're a transfer student, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And for the March financial wellness and financial aid presentations, I haven't finalized those. Unfortunately, I'm running super late this year. My title shifted a little bit, so it's giving me a little less time, but I'm going to put those out there and I will send them to Lisette as soon as I have them available.
And I'll share the link. I'll share the link over there, but you won't get RSVPs through Warrior Connect for it.
Yeah, you can check it out. Yeah.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Okay, so my question, I know you mentioned the state university grant. How do we know if we qualified for that?
You should be able to see it on your award letter this year. If you have it, when you go onto your My Stand State, you should be able to see it in your award letter. If you have it this year, then we will consider you for it in the summer.
On this year's, you mean like this past school year?
Yeah, this fall, spring. So if you have your award letter, you should be able to see it'll say State University Grant.
Did they update that or what was this something that because you know how we were able to see that at the beginning?
You can still see it. Yeah, if you go to your My CSU stand, you should be able to see your awards. If you go to the Student Center under finances, there is a section for financial aid, and it'll say either view financial aid or accept/decline awards. You can click either one of those and then it'll show you what your financial aid looks like.
I think there was just one more question from Evelyn. She said she took 15 units in the fall and 15 in the spring. And what are the chances of her getting aid this summer?
If you received financial aid like the federal Pell Grant and the State University Grant, you can still receive it in the summer. Like I said, the summers is calculated a little bit different. The only one that would require at least a 6-unit enrollment would be the federal Pell Grant, because then that goes into the additional 50%. But other than that, as long as you're eligible for financial aid during the academic year and are still eligible during the summer, then we will award you. If you were not eligible for aid this year, it depends on the reason. If you weren't eligible because you didn't meet SAP, but then after this semester you will meet SAP, then there are chances that you will receive financial aid in the summer. You would just have to do a SAP appeal in the summer. Just make sure that you have your 22-23 FAFSA or GATE application ready. All right. How do you complete a SAP appeal? You will receive an email, and the email will have instructions on where to go to submit your SAP appeal online. And then the application itself will give you the instructions as well, and you just submit there. Does receiving financial aid in the summer affect the amount we receive in the fall? Only if you're coming close to the to your eligibility cap. What that means is that if you're close to exhausting like your federal Pell Grant amount, because they only give you like a certain percentage, or if you're close to exhausting your state university grant amount, because we only give you like a certain amount of units, then yes, it may affect the fall. Otherwise, if you have plenty of eligibility left, then no. But if you're getting close, we will let you know. We'll send you an email letting you know, like, hey, you're pretty close to your Pell cap. So yes, the cap for Pell is 6 years, 12 semesters, or 600%. And if you go to studentaid.gov, you can actually log in with your FAFSA credentials, and it'll tell you how close you are to that 600% cap. Let me stop sharing so that I can put that website in the. Okay, there we go. Okay, so all you need to do is just log in, and then it'll tell you. Yes, they count everything. And yeah, they count if you used it up at the community college or another college or university, all of that is counted in your 600% calculation. All right, any other questions or concerns? If not, I just want to say a big thank you for having me. This is always a pleasure. They count the percentage actually. And yeah, if you go to that website that I put in the chat, you will see the percentage. The closer it is to 600%, the closer you are to meeting that cap. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Landy. We appreciate you here. We have so many financial aid questions all the time. I feel like every time I meet with a student, they always want to like slide in a financial aid question. So we appreciate your time and your information, your knowledge, your wisdom. I'm getting a whole bunch of messages saying, thank you for this, direct messages, super helpful. I didn't know that so much goes on when it comes to financial aid.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
I know. Be extra nice to the financial aid people when you go to the office. They work really hard for all of you. So thank you so much. Give you a little heart, Landy. And I'm gonna stop recording.